To a degree, to an extent, I did sell out. I have sold out. I didn't know what I was getting into. This was not my decision. My wife kind of compelled me to get into the YouTube content creation world. I've made some videos I probably shouldn't have made, reacting to some low-hanging fruit, some low-tier stuff. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I've fallen into being uncharitable, polemical, okay? So I'm not trying to jam the log here. I really have. And I'm not proud of it. I'm really not proud of it. What do Christian Wagner, Trent Horn, Dr. Jordan B. Cooper, and Gavin Ortlund all have in common? They're white, they're males, they like to eat food, they're Christians, but most importantly, they are the four examples of how to make great YouTube content without selling out. And I try to model my channel after these four YouTubers. I've experienced a lot of problems in the last 11 months as being a YouTube content creator or a digital artist. And I didn't know what I was getting into. This was not my decision. My wife kind of compelled me to get into the YouTube content creation world. And I reluctantly went along with it. And I noticed myself gradually changing the scope of my channel and the view and the mission of it. I noticed that certain things wouldn't get views. Other things would get views and clicks and the like. And so to a degree, to an extent, I did sell out. I have sold out. Not completely, but I can't say like these other four, whom I admire very much so. These guys, in my humble opinion, have never sold out. Trent's been doing this for almost 6 years. Jordan, I think 12 years. Gavin, many years. Christian, about 3 years. I've only been doing this 11 months and I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. And I want to show you 4 clips from all of these guys, rather, that I think makes them maybe perhaps the greatest YouTube content creators or digital artists. The first one is Dr. Jordan B. Cooper. Now, if there's someone who has not sold out per se, it's him. He's got about 60,000 subscribers. He's got his doctorate. He's very scholarly. And I know a lot of people personally that kind of heckle him a lot and badger him with reacting to his videos. Yet he keeps his cool and discerns prudently if it's worth reacting back, or why he does reaction videos or why he doesn't do reaction videos. And this is what he had to say on what the goal and the purpose of your YouTube channel should be.
There was always this temptation for the purpose of pragmatism or growth of the channel to engage in those kinds of things more. But I try to limit myself, and I think a lot of us who are in this space would do well to try to ask ourselves, what is motivating us when we are making videos? Are we motivated purely by getting more views? That's a necessity, of course, to some degree, if you're going to make a living off of this kind of thing. Or are we driven by a love of the truth and a desire to express and lead people to the truth in what we do?
Now, notice he said, are we driven purely or solely or merely by views, clicks, views, monetary gains, all that stuff? And it is important. I need it. I don't know about him, but some of us need those monetary gains. And, or is it more for the motivation of saving souls, right? Expressing the truth, getting people and leading them to the truth. It's not a false dichotomy, but primarily it should be the latter, not the former. And I've told my audience, members, subscribers, that my number one goal primarily is to save souls, the conversion of souls. But nonetheless, as you've noticed in the last 11 months, I've made some videos I probably shouldn't have made, reacting to some low-hanging fruit, some low-tier stuff that I'm thinking, gosh, I really need to give my channel a boost, get those subscribers up and those views up. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. And it's interesting because I've always tried to, on a daily basis, discern what I am doing and why I'm doing it. Is this for the glory of God and populating his kingdom, saving souls, catechizing properly? Or is it more geared towards, okay, how much money can I make off of these clicks, these views, these subscribers? And yeah, I didn't want to do this like I told you in the beginning. And when I started doing this, I focused more on scriptural exegesis and biblical hermeneutics, but nobody was watching that lame, boring stuff, right? People want sensationalism. They want drama. They want gossip. They want conflict. They want tension. They want fighting. They want polemics. And the more and more I made videos and I caught on to that, I would somewhat engage in that. And then I would produce all these reaction videos and people would love it because I'm critiquing and proving people wrong while upholding and lifting up that which is right. And it's fine at sometimes, but really you get burned out by doing it. Now, I had Christian Wagner on my channel a few days ago, and what I appreciated about him and still appreciate about him is he's been doing this for, I believe, almost 3 years. And it took him a long while to get up to his subscriber count or his fan base, whatever you want to call it. Because if you know something about Christian, he's strictly, almost in a sense, theology, sacred theology, right? I mean, he'll do other things, but he's not incessantly reacting to low-tier Protestants or street preachers or evangelicals or anything like that. He has a game. Not a game, but he has a motive, a mission, a goal in sight here. And you'll notice, as he tells me on this interview, that you can either be an ideologue or a opportunist. And so this is Christian here. So
it's rough.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. So you, I mean, and I can speak to Kevin as well. So for you, you grinded it out, man, and you stuck to your game. You know what I mean? You did not sell out by any, as far as I know.
I mean, some people would say that I sold out to a degree by getting an editor. Like that would
come on.
People accusing me of stuff like that. But it's yeah, I'm very glad that you say that, because that's something that I really, tried to, stick to. It's like, I think there's two types of, this is how I like to frame the two types of men in history. There is one type of man in history, and he's an opportunist. An opportunist is the type of man who wants to get his name out there, get his, he will kind of by any means necessary, sometimes even limited means, want to, get into the public sphere. So he will, change things up, talk about other things, he will kind of like weave through and play the game a little bit.
Yeah.
Then there's the other type of man in history who is an ideologue. He doesn't want to himself be molded by what is around him. He wants to mold everything around in his image. And ultimately, it's not like I think that there's anything special about what I have to say or anything like that. I do think that it's something that St. Thomas has that's special, something that the Catholic Church has that's special, something that...
So if you noticed, what I really appreciated about Christian saying this, because it clicked. This really is what gave me the motivation to make this video. I mean, the others did too, but this hit me hard right here, because I've seen Christian and his channel and how it's grown, and it's been a grind for him because he is an ideologue. Now, that's in a good sense, not like someone that's spouting inordinate ideology, but he's wanting to mold everything around him. He wants to make the change. He doesn't want to let the other things exterior to him change him, and he just kind of ebbs and flows with that which is changing. He is the demand. He doesn't want to cater to the demand. And I have the utmost respect for him. I don't think I've ever seen a video of his where he's selling out or just reacting to some low tier fruit. He could have 100,000 subscribers right now if he merely went with some, reaction videos to low tier evangelicalism or something, and just spouting off, things from the Catholic catechism or just using his intelligence. But he doesn't. He grinds it out and he teaches. He's like so didactic, in his videos. And that's why people love him. And that's why he's such a good following. Now, I can't say that I've been like that. And I don't know if it's deliberate or not. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm definitely culpable and guilty of it, but I didn't want to get into this like chasing what's hot and what's in demand and, oh, look at, what's what's happening in the Catholic or Christian news, and look at this debate and this gossip, who said this and who said that, and just all this stuff. What do people want to sensationalize about? Yeah, I've got caught up with that. I really have. And I'm not proud of it. I'm really not proud of it. But which leads me to my next point is the polemical nature of the Catholic YouTube world, a Christian YouTube world for that matter, when you're engaging in reactions, like I have before, reaction videos. So like Catholics and Protestants, Eastern Orthodox and Catholics and the whole 9 yards, it's almost impossible not to get involved in some sense of polemical, diatribes and attacks, really. And it's hard. It's hard. You really have to bite your tongue. You have to be careful about what you're getting into. And you got to do it with love and ecumenism, but it's hard. It's hard. I mean, this whole apologetic game is is cutthroat, and the temptation for your pride to get in the way is always there. But nonetheless, this next YouTuber I appreciate, he just came out with a video on Christians' online discourse, how we must do better, Gavin Ortland, and I really appreciate what he has to say about how we treat each other.
Ability to have civil disagreements, respectful disagreements with people is a major issue in society, but especially for Christians. I just got to be honest. I think for the most part, how do I say this? I think we're basically doing pathetic with a few exceptions. There's some wonderful people out there who are Christians, who are managing a social media presence and using social media in a wonderfully edifying, godly, Christ-honoring way. But I think they're more the exceptions than the norm. I think most of us struggle with getting pulled into Galatians 5:15.
But if you bite and devour one another, watch out that you are not consumed by one another. What I appreciate about Gavin is that he said that this is not, in the secular world. This isn't happening in the political world alone. This isn't happening in our homes, at our schools, at our works. No, this is happening in a Christian atmosphere. Catholic YouTube, Eastern Orthodox YouTube, and like I said, Protestant Christian YouTube. This is where, we're in the public sphere, and thousands upon thousands of people will see us, view us, hear us, what we have to say, right? What we don't say and what we don't do. And it'll affect them. It could affect one person the wrong way for the rest of their lives. And we will obviously be judged by every careless and idle word on the last day. But it's ironic because it's like, since I've been in this game, if you want to call it that, the apologetics game, you would think there would be a little more charity and a little less polemics. But it's almost the opposite. And I don't want to bash my Eastern Orthodox brethren, but I've noticed it starkly more there. And it's getting to a point where somebody or some group of people need to stand up and do something or say something about it. Now, I admit, I've fallen into being uncharitable and polemical, okay? So I'm not trying to jam the log here. But yeah, this is another reason why I appreciate these 4 guys. You don't see these guys doing that, at least not to my knowledge. If I've missed it, I apologize. But they're professional. They have good etiquette, right? They're charitable. They're ecumenical. And honestly, that's why you don't see these 4 doing all these reaction videos and criticizing left and right. I need to puff myself up while I'm tearing others down. It doesn't happen on their channels. And I think we should all really mimic these guys and their channels. And I'm going to try my best. I really am. Which leads me into the last clip with Trent Horn. And he came out with a video about a week or 2 ago. It's called The Problem with Christian Content Creators. I'll have a link for all these in the description, by the way. But he more or less, his video is on, really like the other 3 that I just listed. Are you just merely on here to create content and to push it out like it's, a product to be consumed, and thereby, wherever the demand is, that's where I'm going to go. And I'm just going to sell out and just, as long as I'm, boosting my revenue and getting clicks, views, subscribers, and stuff like that. Instead, he argues that we should be digital artists. Now, I could push back a little bit, but I'm going to let the clip play for you, and then we'll talk about it. But Trent Horn, he's the man.
Moreover, having the mentality of an artist instead of as a content creator also leads to embracing another virtue of the artist, not selling out. True artists don't care if their work makes money, or even if lots of people like it, hence the trope of the starving artist. They just want their art to be authentic and objectively good. It's better to be an unknown good artist than a widely popular sellout. Being a Christian artist on social media platforms means we should choose quality over quantity. Now, that's hard to do because algorithms like YouTube punish accounts that don't post on a regular basis by not recommending their content. But it's better to do that than to always scrape the bottom of the creative barrel in order to meet some arbitrary deadline social media imposes on us. We should also choose resting over.
Okay, so my immediate reaction, my immediate inclination is say, well, Trent, that's easy for you to say. You got 240,000 subscribers. But he put in the hard work. He grinded it out for years and years and years. And I'm sure he's been grinding it every single day, save Sunday with his family, maybe. And so he can say that. He absolutely can say that. And I believe he puts out 2 videos each week. And I appreciate that, because we should focus on quality over quantity. It doesn't mean that it's a dichotomy where we can't have quantity. It's just quality. And like the other YouTubers that I mentioned here, what is our goal? What is our mission? Is it truth? Is it saving souls? Or is it merely just, are we pop apologists catering to the demand, pushing out a product that we know these people will eat up again and again, and just ebbing and flowing with that which is demanded of us? Or are we artists who are making original, creative content or art, if you will, that is pure quality, and that quality will get what we need, but it will get what we need in a prudent way where we're not selling out and we're not just commercializing. So I agree with Trent there, but I will say this. Every video that he makes, I make, Gavin, Dr. Ortland, and Christian make, we all have to have some sort of clickbait. There's a title. You can't just leave it blank. You can't just say, hey, watch, or just leave it bland and vanilla. So there's an element of clickbait in every title that we come up with. Likewise with the thumbnail that we have. We have to have something that's aesthetically pleasing, colorful, or catchy, or, that relates to the content of our video. So there's always going to be some sort of content creation going on in that. And likewise with the video, we got to have some sort of introduction that catches you and hooks you in and keeps you watching and stuff like that. So, but nonetheless, yeah, I agree with Trent absolutely on the fact that we should make original content that is focused on the quality and the artistic value of what we're making. With that all being said, again, I'm almost a year in, my first year. I've learned a lot. It's been messy. It's been edifying. I'm glad Trent could collaborate with me. That was amazing. Likewise with Christian. I would love for Dr. Cooper to somehow, some way collaborate with me. I don't know how, because I was a confessional Lutheran for 25 years, and he's a confessional Lutheran. So I think we could do something that's uplifting and edifying for us and for the viewers. But I'm learning, guys. Pray for me. Pray for these 4 guys. Really, what it comes down to, don't sell out. Be true to yourself. Quality over quantity primarily. And yeah, when it comes to the way we treat each other, we should really act like Christ. Love our enemies. Be ecumenical. Build up, don't tear down. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Praise be Jesus and Mary.